Good morning. Good morning, everyone. This is Kendall Askins from Stimulating Minds. Askins Stimulates over on Instagram. Joining you on another Wednesday morning. Again, we've been talking from the book Awakening Genius, and we are moving through the various types of geniuses. And hopefully, even though these are things that we do come across daily, I think that some of these types of geniuses that we have been discussing have just been a different way to look at it or explain it. And hopefully it's triggering something to have you think about people that you encounter and even yourself in a different manner. I know that it personally, I've been thinking as I've been talking about the type of genius that I am, or which characteristic I show the most. And so I know that I'm hoping that it's doing the same for you. So today we are going to talk about inventiveness. Inventiveness, and obviously the word that we hear out of that is invent. And when we think of invent, it's very closely related to creativity. Just like last week, wisdom was very closely related to wonder, right? And from wonder birthed wisdom. Inventiveness and creativity kind of walk hand in hand, and those geniuses probably work very closely together or attracted to each other. But creativity is this idea of like the thought, right? Being able to produce the thought of something that might be different, having ideas or seeing the world in a different manner. And inventiveness is the literal act of making that creativity come to life. So when we think of people who are geniuses in inventiveness, they're geniuses in the act of creating something, right? An invention. So it's not only the idea, but it's bringing the idea to life. And I want us to think about, when we actually allow time for this, I'm going to share something very personal, call myself out. My son, I would say this might be one of his types of genius, right? He loves to make things. And he often needs supplies to make things, but he doesn't ask me to go to the store to buy supplies. His room is filled with water bottles and paper towel rolls and things that I would look at as garbage, that he's constantly recycling or reusing, and not for something that it has to be reused for, or not necessarily to save the planet. Yes, he doesn't want to throw things out, but he's reusing them to make things. He's constantly saying that he's building robots, or he's, creating, making something, inventing something. And I often have to catch myself, because when I go into his room, I'm like, why do you have all this garbage in here? Throw this garbage away. And it's, Mom, this is not garbage. I'm inventing this. I'm making this. And while I allow the space for it, I often have to check myself in the words that I'm using, and making sure that I'm creating a space where he can be inventive. And so I want to challenge us to, or you, those that are listening, to think about how often we might judge or have a comment around someone who might be very similar to my son, right? And how, because we don't think in that manner, we might not understand that. I also want to challenge, and I always think about this, everything that we use, think about a car, traffic light, refrigerator, dishwasher, our beds, like literally everything, right? From the simplest thing, our shoes. Somebody made that. Somebody not only thought of that idea, but brought it to life. And where would we be without some of those inventions today? Or where would we be if that person was discouraged from doing that, or stayed or believed that they couldn't do it? So I never know, and that's what I always feed myself with my son. I never know what contribution he's going to make to this world through this inventive genius that he has. And so I have to be very conscious that I am not contributing to that invention not being a part of this world or this society, right? That I'm not stopping or blocking his gift. And so, even though that's not my area of genius, so I just want to encourage you to think about it in that way. Think about if you see someone that's constantly creating things, not just from that creativity, but bringing that creativity to life, that you recognize them as the inventive genius, and that you recognize that they might be bringing something to this world that we have no idea about that impact. And what we could potentially be hindering if we don't allow the space for it. So as usual, I hope this was food for thought. Questions, comments, thoughts about this, drop those in the comments. Many of you have been sharing with me that you watch the videos and they do make you think. I would love for you to drop those comments in the comment section, because other people might have those same ideas. Share these videos out if that's something that really you think people can benefit from. And I will see you guys back here next Wednesday for more fun. Bye.